Today's May 10th, 2026, and welcome to the 487th episode of the So Video Games podcast. Here on the show, we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the one-man host of this show, and I'm also the editor of GameCritics.com, a reviews website that scores lower than 8 and offers full accessibility on every review that we publish. And with me on this lovely Sunday is everyone's favorite man about town, Carlos Rodella.
Why, hello, everyone, and happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, the bio mothers, the foster mothers, the queer mothers, the found family mothers, the trans mothers, all the mothers. If you're a mother out there in any definition of the word, happy Mother's Day. Carlos, did you do something with your mom?
Yeah, well, she's in New York, and I'm in Seattle here, so we did a video call. Video calls are still like a big deal, right, when you do them? It's like, whoa, I feel like everyone's still just like figuring it out. Like holding the phone.
You guys like use Zoom or something? Or like, what do you do?
Like what? Facebook Messenger, just because everybody's on that thing still.
Not everybody.
And it's easy. Okay, it's easy to do. And a lot of family is. So you just, you hit I'm on my PC and I have my webcam set up and my microphone, and they have their phone, and it works out pretty well. So I was just checking in with them, and they, like I was telling you before the show, they went to Friendly's, which is a big East Coast diner.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they had ice cream and lunch and stuff.
Amazing.
Checked in with them, and then we're going to do Animal Crossing later tonight for the Mother's Day.
How fun is that? How fun is that? All right, excellent. Well, for me, my mom and I are not really on speaking terms right now, so I didn't really say anything to my mom. But I did celebrate my wife, who is also a mom.
Yes.
And this week, I know I've talked about this before, and I wish that Cameo.com was a website sponsor, but we really dig Cameos. They're really fun. It's the thing where you go to the website and you can choose movie stars or TV stars or sports stars, whatever, anybody, and you can pay them a certain amount of money, and everybody's price is different, and they'll make you a specialized message to, they'll say like the name of your person, Happy Mother's Day or Happy Birthday or whatever. We love doing those. It's so fun, dude. It's so fun. You've ever done it?
No, and I'm kind of surprised that you're like excited about it, actually.
Oh, dude, it's so fun. It's so fun
my
because
goodness. Okay.
You just get to have like somebody that you've seen so often on so for example, I got her for Mother's Day, and because they had like a giant Mother's Day super sale, they were dirt cheap, dude.
Spender. Okay.
And for like $20, I can have somebody that we watched for 5 seasons say, Happy Mother's Day to my wife, which is amazing. We just finished Warehouse 13, and we had one of the lead actors on Warehouse 13 and one of the other we had 2 lead actors wish Happy Mother's Day to my wife, and then I had a couple other ones from the Murdoch mystery show, which we were huge fans of.
This is
show up and just
away.
say, oh man, it's so fun, dude, and they just like take a minute, and it's funny too because sometimes they're like so natural, like you can tell they're just like ad-libbing, but like they're totally in the sauce and they're doing it. And sometimes it's like so robotic and stiff and they don't know what they're doing. It's really funny to see the variation. But it was really cool because we got one from Eddie McClintock, who was the lead in Warehouse 13. He played Pete Latimer in Warehouse 13, basically one of the main 2 characters. And he was always like so easygoing and loopy and funny and making jokes on the show. And when he did the video, he was totally like in character, man. He was like popping the one-liners and rolling around and doing his accent and stuff. It was so fun. I love it. Anyway, I'm a big fan. My wife's a big fan. And because, we're both like, I'm 50, she's going to turn 50 in November. And like, we don't really like go in for like presents, and we're not big drinkers. And so it's all about like the little moments that make you smile. And so these things kind of qualify for that. So,
yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I'm smiling over here on this other end of the mic. Like, I'm just smiling at this idea. This is just funny to me. And also like, it's so interesting to see how cheap like certain people will be. You're like, oh, that's like a huge star, and they're like, yeah, it's just a side job for me. So they don't charge a lot. It doesn't seem like.
It really depends, dude. Like if you go to like some of like the biggest, most expensive people are like Star Trek or The Office. Like those have huge fan followings. Those people, like if you get like Commander Riker to like give you a message, that's like $200, $300, $400, right?
Yeah.
But like when we did like Warehouse 13, or actually the guy from Murdoch Mystery, it was like $15. It's like nothing. It's like cheaper than fucking parking downtown in Seattle. Literally cheaper than parking. And then here's this guy who we watched for like 3 seasons wish my wife a happy Mother's Day. That's awesome. It's like, that's just fun.
So cool.
Real fun. Anyway, that's what we did. So again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms, whether you are bio mom, sub mom, foster mom, trans mom, queer mom, whatever mom, any mom. If you qualify in any way for being a mom, happy Mom's Day. There you go. All right, Carlos, let's just kick it off, man. Let's get into housekeeping. I just have like one thing, and I know you got a couple things. Is you okay if I go first here?
Yeah, go ahead. I just have some rants.
Okay, that's cool. We're here for the Carlos rants always, but before we get to that, just a quick like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I was talking in the Discord, the Videogames Discord, about I should probably start putting some money away for a Switch 2. I'm not really like jonesing for one, but it kind of feels like maybe the time is drawing nearer. Because I'm starting to get more and more PR releases. That's kind of how I gauge it, right? Like, as editor of Game Critics, I get like 1 million PR blasts every day, and so like I'm still getting like 80% Switch and like 20% Switch 2, but like slowly it's growing, And I see the tide shifting a little bit. I'm like, okay, normally in days past I would have jumped on immediately, but like trying to be more careful with my money. Economy's not so great these days. I'm not as spendy as I used to be, so I want to be a little bit more judicious. So I'm waiting until I really feel like I need to. And it's not quite there, but I'm like, go. Have you guys heard any good sales or anything, or any good deals on Switch 2? And then friend of the show, Mike Susky, he's like, actually, it went up by $50. And I'm like,
I know.
Motherfucker, what?
And you waited, but I mean, interesting.
Historically, they only goes down, but because of like recent events, economy, motherfucking AI sons of bitches using up all them goddamn chips, not to mention fucking our world. 27 ways, but like, man, going up after launch, oh dude, that was never a thing in the past. Crazy.
Well, I have it on my notes actually. It's kind of one of the rants, so it's a good segue because I'll just yes and to that. I don't understand it still, and so you can say all the reasons, but none of the reasons make sense to me because in our history of video game buying consoles and stuff, they've gone down, like you said, right? They've
always
just gone
down. Yeah.
And they've got slimmer, and they've got like better technology,
totally,
and cheaper, right? I always loved that PlayStation 1, the little teeny one.
Oh, the really super small one. Yeah, that was awesome.
It was like perfect. It was like
Very
the size of the CD or DVD at the time, and so it doesn't make sense to me because you can say all the things like politics and trade and tech and AI and all that stuff. You could say it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Because the world has always been supply and demand, and if people want something, then they're going to pay a certain price for it, and if they don't, you don't get to make the sale. So I don't understand how it's not working because I know for a fact consoles are down. Like people buying consoles are down, because their prices are going up. So that can't sustain.
I agree.
Like business doesn't work like that. And what I'm saying is a positive. Is I'm not saying like, oh, fuck the people who are doing it. I'm saying like we should be okay soon because it's going to have to switch. Because companies can't survive when you just sell things that no one's buying.
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah, no, I totally get you. And I don't know exactly, like you said, I don't know exactly the factors that are driving this up. But what I do know is that people are fucking broke right now. I've talked to several people, including myself, who were like, for example, I really want to play Saros, but it's like full price. It's like $70 or $80 or something. I'm
I
like,
do
no
too,
way,
and I'm
dude.
not going to play it. Yeah, no way.
Yeah, it's like I really want to play it, but there's no way. I'm just going to say flat no, and I'm not going to buy it. And I know I've talked to many other people in our Discord, in the Gaming the Wild Discord, in real life, where they're like, yeah, I'm just not going to pay that much. I was talking to a friend of mine recommending some games, and he's like, yeah, I can spend like maybe $20 or something, but not more than that. And so I was racking my brain trying to recommend some stuff, but like, people are fucking broke, and the economy in America is fucking tanking. Trump is destroying the whole fucking country. We do not have spending money. So I don't know where an extra $50 for the Switch is going to get anybody. It's ridiculous.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that we should probably be optimistic because I think all of it's going to have to switch. Oh, pun intended. I didn't even need to.
There we go. Yep.
But no, all of it's going to have to change because, again, they won't sell their consoles. And if they don't sell their consoles, their investors are going to be mad at them. So I think we're going to be fine. This inflated bullshit it's got to go away. It just has to. There's just no world where consoles go up in price continually and everything's fine. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't work that way.
But I think we're in like a new world, man. And I have to wonder. Well, hang on. Okay. I have to wonder, is the U.S. just going to get left behind? Because we are becoming an island, even more so than we were before, like politically, economically, socially, because we haven't taken action against what needs to be done. And so, there's trade deals going on between a lot of other countries that the U.S. is not a part of. There's all sorts of, currency discussions going on that the U.S. is not a part of. And so I have to wonder, are we going to just get left behind? Is the Switch 2 going to be doing great in all countries except for North America? I mean, I don't know. It could happen.
The Switch is a little different because, and I'll give you that because it's Japan, right? But like Xbox is here, PlayStation's here, okay? So there's no excuse for them. They have a U.S. based company, you know what I mean, and a Japanese counterpart, whatever. But like they can make the changes they need to make on hardware to sell these consoles. So
I don't know, man. I don't have the answer. I don't know, but
I don't either. But I'm trying to be optimistic. I don't think it can sustain. Is what I'm saying. And also on that Xbox rant, and that was optimistic. Okay, here's my pessimistic.
If that was
just remember that.
Boy, let's get ready for the pessimistic. Okay.
Well, the optimistic was actually pretty. I'm saying the consoles will have to go down. So that's an optimistic thing. Okay. Right. Pessimistic is. I just am so tired of seeing like so many videos and people talking about Asha Sharma with Xbox and all the things they're doing right when they haven't done anything yet. Like nothing's happened. And I want to just put this out there as Carl's rant. Nothing has happened because every single video I watch, and I know I watch more YouTube than you.
You do.
But they're all like, oh, look at all the good things they're doing. And you and I have been down this road like for years on this podcast, where they talk a bunch of shit and nothing happens. This is the new year for Xbox. We're going to have the games come out this year. 3 years later, no games. So Asha Sharma has canceled Copilot for Xbox. Cool. They shouldn't have done that anyhow. Like, no one wanted Copilot on Xbox.
True.
So, but they treat it like a big win. No, there's no win there. It shouldn't have ever been there. So that's not a win. Then she hires all of her AI team. So I know you love that. But she did the two things at the same time. So it's like a smoke and mirrors thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, guys, look, we're not going to have AI Copilot on Xbox. But also, here's all the new team. It's all my old AI team. Cool. So that's weird. Also, nothing's being done. It's just the hiring. And then, some YouTubers like, Xbox has the fire in them now. You know, like, ooh, I can tell that things are changing. Nothing's changing, people.
Didn't they drop the price of Game Pass, though?
Not yet, I don't think, because I went to go do it for Mixtape, which we'll talk about, and it was still $30.
But soon, I think it's supposed to drop.
Okay,
soon they were talking about dropping
it's
it.
Not
so
yet.
That's well, maybe not yet, but that's coming
Again,
soon, I believe.
I know. What I'm saying is, here's my full-on pessimism, like, negative thing. People say a ton of shit. Like, aren't they going to, they're about to do, they're about to, nothing's happening. Nothing has happened. I turned on my Xbox. It was a bad experience. The Game Pass is $30. They had no games. You know what I mean? I don't know. Nothing has happened is all I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying. So I guess on the counterpoint,
please.
I think we were all very, very concerned about what Asha Sharma would do because, you know, we knew she was like Corpo Instacart, had no background in gaming, and I think we were all kind of bracing for the worst. So I think perhaps people are just really eager to grab any ray of positivity, even if nothing has really materialized in a solid way yet. The fact that she is not leaning into more corpo bullshit as her primary way of interacting with us, I think is a positive sign. So maybe people are feeling a little bit positive about that. I'll also say, like, you know, a big ship like Microsoft, it's, you know, it takes a long time to turn. And if this is the talk they're talking, it's not going to be like immediately, but hopefully soon. But, you know, doing all the different departments and all the things you got to do in advance and all the, you know, nothing moves fast in something as large as Microsoft. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for the moment. I'm not going to say like I'm all aboard and this is all great, but I think the signs are positive and I think it's not the avalanche of bullshit that we thought it could be. So I guess for the moment, we're all just like feeling good about that, I suppose. And
I want to be, you know, I'm Mr. Optimism. So I want to be there with that. Right. But isn't it like lame that it's like people are excited that it's not just bullshit? Like that's the ground level. I mean, like, oh, well, there's not a ton of shit. So
things are so dire these days. I think we're going to take anything that even remotely resembles good news, dude. I mean, I think that, like you said, the bar is set so low that this is good news.
I get that, but there is literally no news. So I just wanted to rant and this is my last statement.
Well, no news is good news. That's the phrase. Maybe
I don't think that's true. When you have 5 years of no games, okay, and that sounds a little bit exaggerated. There's like a few games that I liked on Xbox, but a few when I like have lived on PlayStation and PC.
Yeah.
When there's nothing coming out for the thing and the system is tanking and it drops 30% year over year, console sales down 30% year over year. that just means it's not a thing. Like Xbox isn't a thing until they tell me otherwise. It's not a platform. That's my.
I don't know the
statement.
numbers. I'm gonna trust you.
It is.
But what I will say, anecdotally, is that Game Pass has been pretty strong, dude. Like we are an Xbox family.
It's losing them money.
I mean, I can't address the finances. I don't know what their balance sheet looks like.
Can I address it? Because I have the information.
Hang on. Okay. Hang on. I'm just saying anecdotally.
Yes,
from my own personal experience, for the last couple months at least, every time I turn on Game Pass, like there's something there that I'm interested in, and the same thing for my wife too. So it may not be the one be all end all for everybody, and maybe it doesn't have all of the games that everybody could possibly want. But I will say, just for speaking of me personally and for my wife and my kid, I definitely feel like we're getting value for money. Like there's always something to play there. I've always got 2 or 3 games downloaded from Game Pass. So it may not be everything, but I feel like, for me anyway, our family, I feel like it's worth it.
And I will give you that because it's a good value for the consumer still. I think it's too expensive, $30. Because remember, day one games are only on the $30 pass now.
Right.
So like Mixtape is only on $30
sure.
Until they change it. And so, but it's not good for the company. So if it's not good for the company, then it's not good for developers. If it's not good for developers, then you have no games. And so it's a problem that's just sitting there, kind of like burning, like the fire GIF, like everything's fine, and it's not fine. Game Pass is not like financially fine for them. And I did do some journalistic research on that, so I'm speaking from truth. But it's pretty good for consumer still, because like you said, you have fun games to play. So, anywho, that is it. I'm sorry I got so negative. I just hear so much every day, and I can't believe that people are so excited. And I'm like, I just want to reset your expectations. Nothing's happened yet.
All right, you have brought the realism back. Told us to calm down. Told us not to get too worked up.
I brought the room down, is what I did. I'm sorry.
Acknowledge. All right.
Okay. Let's be positive.
Let's get the other stuff out of the way, and we'll get to the good stuff here. Heads up, YouTube is still there at GameCritics.com videos. Eugene's got some new stuff every week, as always. Check that out. Also, just a quick heads up that all the costs of this show and also sister site GameCritics.com are paid for out of my pocket. You love the show, you love the website, you love both. Please chip in and help me keep everything running. If everybody listening or reading would chip in just $1 a month, only $1, literally $1, every expense would be covered. And if you can afford it, I'd appreciate it. If you're feeling supportive, you can do that over at patreon.com/the So Videogames podcast. All right, let's get to the games, folks. We're going to do a really quick circle back. Not really much to circle back on, but let's do it anyway. As y'all know, this is where we talk about games we've covered in previous episodes, not in the same level of depth, but just a quick recap on where we're at with it. And my only circle back this week is for RoboCop Rogue City.
Oh yeah.
I was super impressed with it last week when I covered it initially. Of course, it came out like 1 or 2 years ago, something like that, and I bought it, just didn't get around to it until now. And again, it really is as good as people said. It really does capture the RoboCop movie spirit. Sound effects are on point. Voices are on point. The action is really great. I love being RoboCop. Not only just shooting dudes with your massive gun, but also just like solving these little micro crimes in your funny, sarcastic kind of RoboCop way. I've put a few more hours into it. Not done with it. I feel like I still got a pretty good patch to go. I haven't been playing a lot of it lately, but I still think it's great. So just circling back, I think RoboCop Rogue City is actually the shit. It's really, really good, and I'm glad that I finally got around to it. So I will not talk about it again probably until I roll credits, but just rest assured it is unless something bizarre happens, this is like a super solid thumbs up all the way. So, well,
I do want to get you to get to the end areas that I was in.
I know you mentioned you had some difficulty with the combat, or it was irritating or something like that.
There's some mines and some snipers, and once you get to that level in that section, tell me.
I'll let you know. Yeah. We'll circle back on that. Okay.
All right.
So that is it. Let's get into the new stuff. Gosh, I hate to dominate the conversation, but let me quickly just get a couple things out of the way, and then we'll turn it over to you, Carlos.
Yeah, you have more games than I do this
I
episode, for sure.
I do. That's the way it broke this week. Just really quickly, shout out to Revolgear Zero, Revolgear, Revolgear Zero. This is a 2D shoot 'em up, kind of like the old school, kind of reminiscent of something like Gradius or Thunder Force or something like that. Back in the day, you're a spaceship, you're flying left to right, bunch of bullets, kind of, I don't know that I necessarily call it bullet hell exactly, but, kind of in that vein of traditional shooter. Really nice pixel graphics, pretty standard action. It is what you think it would be. It does have a couple of neat spins on it, though, because you have these little robot drones that are kind of like around your ship They're either beside your ship or in front of your ship, and you can push a button to move them back and forth between those two positions. And when you have them, I mean, in whatever position, you can use them to absorb like light duty shots. And when you're getting shot at, there's like these light duty shots, and then there's like these heavy duty shots. So if you use them, those little drones, to absorb these light duty shots, it saves you from taking the damage, but also powers up your super beam. And if you're really good at catching those shots, you end up shooting your super beam like a lot, which is pretty unusual for a game like this. Usually you save that for like the getting out of trouble or the screen clearing kind of thing, like a once in a while thing. But they really encourage you to like get active in terms of moving your ship around and using that beam as much as possible, which is kind of nice. It's kind of a new focus for a game like this. I haven't played a game that kind of leaned into it like that. So I think that's pretty novel. Otherwise, pretty standard shoot 'em up stuff. If you like shoot 'em ups, you're probably going to like this one. I put some time into it, played a couple levels. I thought it was super solid. You know, if you like shoot 'em ups, I think this is a good one. That is Revolgear Zero. Played it on the Switch, runs totally fine on the Switch. So
check it out. Go.
Yep, bam, one down. Carlos, over to you for High Above.
Yeah, this is a cozy rooftop building game that we got a code for.
Oh, good. I thought it was going to be a fucking marijuana game. Excellent.
What? Oh, no. High Above, dude.
Oh, dude, there's so many fucking weed games these days. I just delete them all. I just delete them all.
What is up with that? It's because that one did so well, remember?
I don't know.
What was that one? I can't remember the name of it.
The one where you're a weed dealer? I mean, that's like all too. Whatever. Fuck, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah. And by the way, that's not a thing anymore. Like, it's legal. Like,
being an illegal weed dealer?
Yeah, you just go to a store. What's going on?
It should be a dispensary sim. That's the modern take.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they have that. Are you kidding me? Steam probably
I'm sure they do. I'm sure
15 that came out today.
Yeah.
Sometimes just too many games.
It's not a weed game. It's not a weed game.
This is a cozy rooftop building game. And it's very interesting that what I just said is rooftop building game. So you're just building the rooftops. Now, the rooftops can have like little patios and house, like house type accoutrement, right? Like doors and patio type things. But it's the roof. It's just the roof. And you can't get to the bottom. In the beginning, I was a little confused. I was like, oh, wait, you don't see the bottom of the building. It's just the top, and then there's like this fog, like clouds,
Oh, so there's no ground or anything.
There's no ground. It's just like this kind of atmospheric vibe of like you put clouds in the sky. You put
gotcha.
You basically start with making the building, the style, and there's like Europe, Japan, and then there's like future, which is the one I picked immediately, futuristic and like cyberpunk kind of vibe, and also like kind of gritty future, which I liked. And you put the building down, and there's like some sort of like stuff around it, and then you just start building. And there's a bunch of these games that are cozy building. Lots of them I kind of drop off of. We probably covered a ton of them on the show, but this one I'm not dropping off of. I think it's because it is limited in scope. Now I can make more buildings. You start with one, and you could put like rocks and trees around and stuff. But it is kind of nice to just focus on the rooftop because it's like you're just doing one room, essentially.
Question for you, real quick. So is this like just like a sandbox chill vibes, or is there like story mode or any kind of goals to shoot for, or is it just like relaxing?
Yeah, it's relaxing, but there is one thing you could do. So there's actual people, and like for the sci-fi, there's robots that you can place down like in these environments. So it's kind of got that Sims vibe a little bit. But it's not really that kind of involved at all. But to your point, there are like little challenges if you want to do them. Okay. And I think I will never do them. And it's like, just because that's what I like from this game. I like that it's just relax,
Yeah.
But if people who want that, there's like a little challenge, like build this person's home the way they want it or something. Build this person's rooftop. So you can do that, but I probably will never do that. It's just super, super relaxing. And so I'll show a video in the Discord. So join our Discord. So I'll show a video later on this week of my little rooftop because it's very cool and it's in the future. And in the distance, there's all these future buildings and it's raining. You can do like change the weather and stuff and like birds and things like that. And it's raining. There's like power lines and there's a little robot at the top and he's like walking around, the roof area. And it's just a vibe. It's like really cool. So we might have played a lot of these, but a lot of them I drop off of because maybe it's too complex or something. Mm-hmm. But I kind of just dig what this is.
One more question real quick.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like puzzle element or unlock element, or is it just like you have access to, you can just put anything anywhere, you have all the stuff?
Yeah,
or do
you
need to, like,
you have all the stuff.
You have all the stuff, and there's no like puzzle or challenge type thing to get through. You just do whatever you want.
There's those mini missions like I talked about.
Sure.
I guess they're from like visitors who stop by and they want to have something. I think Animal Crossing kind of style. Yeah, but I'm not doing that. I just go to the menu and things are open. Yeah,
Gotcha.
You just kind of do it, which makes it great. And there's a roadmap, so it's not like fully out, I guess, yet.
Oh, is it like an early access kind of a thing?
It says high above. I'm looking at Steam. It looks like it's out, but I think they have a roadmap.
But they're just going to add more to it.
Yeah. So like new props, new upgrades, animals they're going to add.
Okay.
This might be, surprise to me, this might be the cozy building game that I stick with.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Yeah. Just because it's simple. And I'm like, I don't want to fuck with a lot of stuff. I just want to like have one area. And I can make multiple rooftops, but like I just like the idea of having one. And yeah.
Right,
so I dig it. And if you want other styles, there's like Mediterranean, Japan, Europe, and stuff. So,
all right,
I say check it out. And talk about not a lot of us have a lot of money. $10.
$10 is a good price. That sounds amazing. So, all right, cool. High above sounds like a thumbs up.
It is.
All right, excellent. Let me talk about a couple titles here. First one is called The Day I Became a Bird. Now, apparently this is based off of a pretty famous book that I've never heard of. Have you heard of this book?
I haven't, and I'm looking it up.
Yeah, so I didn't realize it was based on a book, but apparently it's a pretty, well-received children's book. But I had never come across it before, so I didn't realize that when I started the game. I knew this was kind of like a chill kind of vibes, little kid kind of, like basically the premise is that, not to give this away, and I didn't finish the game, so I don't know that I even can give it away. But basically, there's this little boy. I'm not even sure how little, but we're talking like grade school. He sees a little girl at some point. He like instantly falls in love, and then he's kind of like, I don't know, ruminating on that and kind of like dealing with that in a little grade school kid kind of way. I think I'm playing it on Switch. I think the art style is actually quite cool. He's got a very large head, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I think the illustration style looks very like Illustrator, painterly, kind of like handcrafted visuals, which is nice. But the world itself is really what got me. As this kid is walking around in kind of like an isometric perspective, he's like all the way filled in. So he looks like a little cartoon character. But as you're walking around in the world, sometimes it's just like pencil lines that give you the suggestion of part of the world. So he'll be walking by a desk, and it's just like a pencil outline of a desk, and it's not filled in. And it lets you know, like, oh, this is nothing to interact with, but this is kind of a thing that's here. Or maybe there'll be like some stuff, like a frisbee and a bike on the ground, and you just walk past it. But it's drawn like pencil lines, and then some things are partially filled in, and some things are colored filled in. It just looks really cool. It looks like an art book or workbook in progress, where it's not totally finished, but it just has a very cool look to it. I really like the aesthetics of it a lot. I think that's interesting. I will say, though, that I found it kind of like not super engaging. Again, not familiar with the book, but, it's like he walks around each environment and you got to collect a certain number of feathers. And I will say that the developers did not make that clear. So like you find these feathers that are just like icons. You pick them up just like, rings in Sonic or something like that. You pick them up, and then before you can leave each area, you have to have a certain amount. But for example, in the very first area, I picked up all the feathers I found, and I didn't know how the game worked, and I'm like, I don't see any more feathers. I go to leave, and it's like it was like you need three feathers. And I'm looking at my total. I have like 18 at that point, and it's like you need 3. I'm like, but I have 18. What's going on? And I didn't see any of the feathers. I got kind of confused. I'm like, what is going on? What it should say is you need 3 more feathers to suggest that you are shooting for a higher goal, because I had already been past the goal. And then it turns out like you got to like investigate some items. If you like kick the soccer ball, that's like 5 feathers. And if you like ride the bike, that's like 5 feathers or whatever. So they don't really do a good job of explaining that, but you can figure it out before too long. Just start off on kind of a sour note. And then the activities and stuff are all pretty simple. Just like, find a piece of paper, pick it up, go talk to this person. It's all just like very, very, very basic mini games. So you're here for the vibes, or you're just not here. And I thought it was cute. But again, just really simple. It wasn't very super engaging to me, and I'm not a fan of the book. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. I played like maybe like half, and I'm like, I'm good. So
yeah, it seems like it's a storybook. Really, I'm watching the video. It's it's just an extension of the book. I think if you like the book, then you'd probably like the world, right?
That's a great way of framing it. It does feel like an interactive storybook a little bit, and it just was. I think maybe for younger kids it would be a good fit, or maybe kids who are really into the book, but. For someone who is older and is looking for a little bit more from the experience, it didn't quite light it up for me. But it was cute and sweet, and I can see the right person really liking it. So cool. There you go. That is The Day I Became a Bird. And one more for me, really quickly. Motorslice is on Game Pass. Speaking of Game Pass, a while ago, I saw quite a few people talking about this last week, and so I also kind of had my eye on it. Basically, it is a third-person parkour game where you play kind of like a PlayStation blocky type anime chick, and you go into this like wide open, it's not like an open world, but it's like a giant city with lots of stuff to climb on, and there's not really any hard direction. Like they kind of like let you loose in these giant areas, lots of blocks to climb on, lots of stuff to parkour on, wall jump on,
machines,
jump over, and so you're killing machines. The machines have gone haywire, so you got to go take the machines out. And the big hook to this game is actually doing a Motorslice where you have a chainsaw, and there are certain patches on the wall where you stick your chainsaw into it and it just goes, and it just takes you zooming across like a big chasm or something. Like the chainsaw will carry you across as you chop through the wall. You can go up, you can go down, you can go around in circles or whatever. So you can kind of like a little bit of free wall movement when you're in a chain slice area, which is kind of fun. Pretty cool. The first time you do it.
Is it fun to do?
Yeah, it's kind of fun to do. You can't do it anywhere. It's limited. Like there are very specific places where you can do it, but it is kind of fun when you do it. So that started out okay, but I think the lack of direction kind of got to me because was like wandering around. There's no map, and I'm kind of just like looking around for more robots to kill. And once you kill all the robots in a zone, you can move on. But I was kind of aimless for a bit, just kind of parkouring off stuff. I'm not sure where I'm going. And then the combat itself, I think, just sucks. It's terrible combat. The robots that I met were pretty simple and straightforward, and just like the dodging and the way you interact with them and the timing of the robot's movement, like it just feels like a bunch of pieces that don't fit together. Like the combat does not feel very polished. It doesn't feel very considered. It feels like they kind of stuck it in there because you needed something else to do besides parkour. The combat feels wretched, and I do not like the feel of the combat at all. So that was a big turnoff. So that was like kind of like okay. It was like okay. And then at that point, I kind of like noped out because I was like, okay, this is like fine, I guess, but I have other stuff to play, and I'm not really connecting with this. But it turns out that my son kept playing. He was playing it on Xbox, on his own Xbox, and he was like, holy shit, there's a lot of creeper stuff in here. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, dude, the dialogue is gross. And I'm like, oh no. So I quit before I got to any of it, but apparently there's a lot of like really kind of sexual innuendo stuff that goes a little bit too far. I talked to a couple of other people who played it, and they said, yeah, that's actually true. There's a lot of creeper vibes in it, and they do a little robot drone that's your buddy, and I guess the robot drone can like bump into the main character's boobs and her butt to like get reactions out of her and stuff. I like really childish,
what? That's a weird
sexist bullshit. Yeah, so that sounds like really negative and stupid and gross, and I'm sorry to hear that stuff was in there. But even before I got to that, I felt like this game was like a good start, but it just didn't feel polished enough. Awful combat, and I think the levels could give a little bit more direction, a little bit of focus, and maybe they'd be onto something. But but beside that, just knock the sexist stuff off because I'm not here for that under any circumstances. So
it says there's massive bosses as well. I mean, most of the trailer is just her like scaling these huge like crane machines and stuff.
I mean, maybe so.
It
I didn't
seems
get
like
that
the
far.
Bosses are really the thing, but yeah, and also very positive on Steam. But
well, see, that's the weird thing. I see a lot of people being kind of positive on it, but I'm like, is everybody just like hand waving the sexism stuff aside? I mean, maybe they are. I don't know, but who knows? I didn't see it. I don't know. I didn't see it myself, and I didn't want to play more of the game to see it, so I bounced. But anyway, that's Motorslice in a nutshell. Carlos, over to you for something which I absolutely never thought we would be talking about today. Max Payne? WTF, man. Max Payne. Where did you get on Max Payne?
Well, so what happened is a little while ago I picked up Max Payne 3 because I'd never beaten that game.
Did you ever play the other two?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
So the other two are Remedy, and Max Payne 3 is Rockstar. Now,
Okay.
if you remember that, that's a big difference, right?
I do not remember that.
So Max Payne 1 and 2, you know Remedy, obviously.
I know Remedy for sure.
Control.
Yeah,
and so if you play those games, well, I'll get back to playing them in a minute. So I had played 1 and 2, and I hadn't played 3, and I started playing it a while ago, and I dropped it for some reason. Some new game came out, And just recently, some YouTuber was going through all the games. This is a classic like YouTube video.
Sure.
These games still hold up. That was like the list.
Gotcha.
And one of them was Max Payne 3. And I was like, he's right. This is a really good game. And I stopped it only because like some new game had come out. But I was having a really good time with it. I was like, this is like what I can play until GTA 6 shows up, because it's a Rockstar game. There's really good shooting, and it feels like GTA 5 a lot of time. So I'm here to say I went back to it because it is damn good. And I don't know if you remember, but they play with time. So it's like the past and the future in that game.
No, I don't remember anything about. Here's what I remember about Max Payne.
Okay.
Blocky as fuck.
Max Payne 1.
Bullet time. There was a dream sequence that was absolute dog shit to play through. And it was just like annoying. And I've never been a Max Payne fan. So I don't know the difference between Max Payne 3. Did they change up the formula significantly, or how did it go?
I mean, from the description you just gave me, I'd have to tell you like a lot of stuff. But basically Max Payne 1 and 2 was Remedy, and we know what Remedy does is like, almost noir kind of style of storytelling. Like there's a lot of exposition, a lot of voiceover, and that's what 1 and 2 are. So I went back to 1 because I was playing 3 just to remind myself. And it was slow and it was clunky because back in the day, they haven't updated it. But it was revolutionary at the time because the whole bullet hell stuff didn't really exist.
Bullet time, that's what it was known for, man.
Yeah, I said bullet hell. And that's still fun to play, even the original. It's like fun. The controls are pretty wonky though. But when I was playing it, I was just blown away by how much storytelling it was. It's a lot of cutscenes and like literally like comic book style. It was a dark, stormy night. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I remember
so
being
a lot
very
of
bored by
talking.
that. Yeah, I remember too much talking.
So I think it was too much, maybe too. But it had a special place in my heart because I love Remedy and I love Control, and I can't wait for the new game. But 3 is definitely like a GTA game.
Interesting.
It's like
I'm not sure I ever played it.
Oh, okay, it's really good shooting. And, I'm not like literally the person who goes on the podcast to talk about shooting, But if it feels good and it's fun to play, it's noticeable. And it feels so good. Like, it's just so fun. And there's a little bit of physics, it's a little bit of bullet timey stuff. And it just feels super fun to play. That's all I'm going to say. And so it's about him, Max, like leaving. Is his name Max?
I mean, it must be.
Max Payne. I think it's the same guy. Okay. Anyways, it's not like a dark and stormy night noir. It's like he's in a different country and he's like, everything's changed and he's an older guy and it just feels like they made a GTA game. So it's like, do you want GTA but like simpler? Because it's not open world. It's straight up like do this mission.
Just levels, or is it like large areas? More like
large
levels?
Areas that are levels, but it's like on rails,
Gotcha.
You're at a stadium, but you got to go down these areas. And it's like you're in a house, you're in a building, but you got to go upstairs. And so you're just going along. But the whole time you're going along, it's fun as hell. So anyways, I thought I brought the show to remind people that if you don't have you can't get GTA 6 yet. So if you want some game that's like a shooty game that's by Rockstar, it's really, really good. And I'm going to beat it this time.
Is it in any way comparable to the Saints Row series, this Max Payne 3?
No.
Not at all comparable.
It's like the shooting's better than Saints Row.
Sure.
Which is great. That makes, again, if it's good shooting, it makes you like want to keep playing it. But no, it's like a so on rails story.
Okay.
And so was Max Payne 1 and 2. Like, they were like, go down this corridor, go to this place, and then we'll do a story beat. So it's the same thing. You get a lot of story, and then you do missions,
Gotcha.
But man, oh man, and the graphics stand up. The graphics are great. Like,
what was it originally on? Like PS4? Like, what are we talking?
I don't remember. I could look it up, but I'm not going to do the research.
That's
Maybe
fine,
Xbox.
don't worry about it.
Quick tangent. I'm playing on PC, and it looks great on PC.
All right, quick tangent. So now that we're talking about this, and since I asked about Saints Row, like it's kind of gotten me in the mood to play Saints Row, but not Max Payne.
I'm glad because I have something for you, but go ahead.
Okay, well, what I was going to say was I've played all the Saints Row games except for the most recent one where they kind of like rebooted, right? You know the one I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. I sure do.
So was that one worth playing? Because I know that you are also a Saints Row fan.
This is kind of a tangent. We don't need to go on, but I will say, yes, it is.
Okay.
And I fucking love that game. And everybody who doesn't like it can go to fucking hell. Sorry, that was mean.
Diplomatic
But
Carlos,
you're
as
wrong.
always.
You're objectively wrong if you don't like it. There's like 8,000 bazillion people that don't like it. And all the journalists and all the fucking YouTube videos are like, this is the worst thing they've ever made, man. They're all wrong. Okay. It's fun as shit. Think about like Saints Row 1. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe 2. That's what this feels like. It's just a fucking, just go in, have some fun. Don't take it too seriously. Chaos happens. Like the chaos is so fun. You reminded me of it right now. I'm going to re-download it later.
I'm going to download it when I get off the show.
Because I not only beat this game, you can keep playing a little bit after, that kind of thing. And I like just kept doing it so I can like get this. I won't spoil it, but there's something you can get at the end game that you have to keep grinding for. And it's so worth it. It's so cool. But the only thing that people really kind of stuck out, and this is similar to Forspoken. I am in the tangent now. And I loved Forspoken. Okay. I loved it.
God, which one is Forspoken? Which
The
one
one with
the
the woman who everyone got mad at the very first cutscenes because she was like, "Oh, do I have to be here?" And she was
that
like,
was the one with
pissy.
the. It was like the girl that got transported to the fantasy world. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
But remember, I talked about in the show. She was about to like jump off a bridge, and it's very, very like deep emotional stuff. And if you just stick with it, it's actually fucking great. Those people are wrong too. I'm mad this episode. So what Saints Row does is they add a bunch of like millennials and that like kind of corny storytelling.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, oh, I'm not going to go to college, and I just stuff that you don't care about. So yes, I agree that stuff is corny and cringe, but you don't need to stick with it. And you can also just like have fun in the world. So for me, it's like it wasn't about those cutscenes. It was just like, hey, let's just have some fun. And then guess what? Minor spoiler, at the very end, the story's fucking cool. It takes a turn. Like, I don't know what they did, like some writing, the group came in and they were like, listen, we gotta tie this all together.
They hired a professional writer for the last hour of the game.
Yes. Because I'm telling you, some of the stuff is really cringe, but at the end, I felt really connected to these people, and I really liked the ending.
All right.
Which is a hot take, because no one said that probably, I think, on the internet.
I don't remember. I remember people not liking it, and I remember honestly at the time I was kind of burned out of Saints Row because we had played so many of them. And I love Saints Row. I mean, I like the series. I'm definitely a fan for sure, even though I have my favorites in the series. But I think at that time I was just like, I just don't want any more of this right now. I need to take a break from it. So I never played that one. But now I think I am kind of in the mood for that. So maybe I'm gonna give that a spin after the show here today.
I'm so excited for you. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna like re-download it and see where I'm at, because I'm like at probably 100 hours or something in that game.
Oh geez.
And
okay.
And here's one more like selling point. I don't need to sell it. You're gonna get it. But there's actually a level, minor spoiler, but there's a nerdy guy in it because they did a lot of the tropes, And one of the levels is like you gotta like LARP with him. Like do like D&D stuff. And like so instead of guns, it's like, fake guns.
Foam swords and stuff. And all
yeah,
that.
and it's like cardboard and stuff. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like, why aren't people
really
like giving that props? Because yeah, dude.
I'm sure it was just misunderstood at the time, and we were coming off of a lot, maybe too much Saints Row. So now that it's had time to mellow and we've had a little distance from it, maybe we'll see it in a different light. And I've actually never tried it at all, so this will be a brand new experience.
You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun.
All right, excellent. Okay, so there we go. That's the wrap up on Saints Row, but actually it's the wrap up on Max Payne 1 and 3. We kind of tangent there.
Yes, we did. But check out Max Payne 3 as well.
All right, quick couple words on a game called Peppered. An existential platformer. This one came out of nowhere for me, and I don't know who is in charge of making it, but I would bet any amount of money that they are from Eastern Europe, because they have got the trademark Eastern Europe dark black humor, nihilistic, fatalistic tone, which I actually really enjoy in games. I think when you get a good Eastern European writer, that shit can be really funny and really deeply enjoyable, because those folks, they just tell it like it is sometimes, They just don't fuck around, and I really appreciate that sometimes. So what this is a very unusual, very strange game. It is a 2D pixel-based platformer. You play some kind of a rabbit type person, I guess, and The story is a little bit abstract. Basically, like the god of death has been imprisoned, and they keep him in prison by I don't know, like getting this like the star of life. They got to deliver it to his jail cell, and if they deliver it in time, he stays locked up, and then everybody lives forever. Everybody is immortal. But something goes wrong. There's a problem. The star does not get delivered, and then you, the rabbit guy, have to like jump into action and do something about it. Now, I'm telling it in a very straightforward, boring ass way. But let me tell you, like, when you're actually playing the game, it is way funnier, 10,000 times funnier than what I just said, especially because what I said wasn't funny at all. But it's very humorous, very funny, lots of jokes, lots of visual jokes, lots of items you can click on in the environment that just give you like a little bit of commentary or a joke. And then the whole situation is really quite irreverent. You can even get a couple of fake endings before you even start the game, depending on choices you make when you're talking to people. And I thought that was really fun. I love when games do that. They just fuck with you a little bit. You know, that kind of like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we did this? And then they actually like go and do that thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can do that thing. I really enjoy that a lot. But you get to the platforming, you can jump, you've got to slide, you can duck. And along the way, the action is pretty straightforward so far. But the thing that makes it funny is like all the situations are really ridiculous. They do a lot of like, you know, political commentary, economic commentary. Just like everything they do is basically like a joke or some kind of comment on something that's happening in the business world or capitalism or office culture or something like that. So there's no way I can really like do justice to the jokes. It's kind of like you've got to be playing it to kind of really get what they're doing. But trust me when I say it's really quite funny. And I think even though the platforming stuff is just like average fine, but it's good enough to keep you engaged while you go from joke to joke, while you go from situation to situation. And I really do think the writing is really enjoyable. It makes me like literally makes me laugh. And I think it's so clever and fun. And they're doing so many unusual things. And I'm poking at the edges of this game to see, and they have anticipated that. So most of the time when you do something like for example, I got to this area and I saw that there was just like a pit. In any other game, it would have just been a pit of instant death and you restart. But I'm like, you know what? These guys are pretty sassy. I bet if I jump off this pit, what's going to happen? Yep, there was something down there. And I'm like, oh, sweet. It was like another little Easter egg that I discovered because I was being stupid. And there was something down there that was really cool and unexpected. And then I came back. And there's like loads of those little moments when you're kind of fucking around. And they know you're going to fuck around. And they want you to. And then you get like a reward for doing it. And it's really
that's
fun.
Cool.
So, yeah, I dig it. I'm only like maybe like a third of the way through it. But so far, really having a lot of fun. Very sassy. Very Eastern European. I love the vibe. It's just kind of cool. So peppered, an existential platformer. Definitely a thumbs up. If anything I said sounds interesting, check that one out for sure. Which brings us...
Wait, it does. And I will say I just downloaded the demo because there's a demo available.
Oh, yeah. Give it a shot. I bet you'll think it's funny, dude. I bet you will.
Yeah.
All right.
Which
this
brings
brings us to the big game. I was going to say the big hippo of the show. I don't think that sounds correct. That's not the vibe I'm going for. The big thing of the week. The thing that everybody's talking about. Mixtape. It's available on Game Pass. So that's point one for Game Pass right there, Carlos. Even you got to admit that one.
Although I went to go get this game on Game Pass and I noticed it was $30. I walked backwards into the bush, came out the other side in PlayStation Land, and I bought it. It's on PlayStation at a discount price of $17,
which is excellent. But just saying, it was on Game Pass. So if anybody already had,
if you
Game
have
Pass,
the $30, yes.
So I know, Carlos. I know you're super stoked. I know this one is near and dear to your heart. So I'm gonna let you lead off. Geez. Tell us all about Mixtape, sir.
I don't even know how to do this. Okay, wait. Before we even start, I like this game a lot, and it's that's saying very like I like this game a fucking lot. But I decided that as soon as I finished it, that I was never ever ever going to read or watch or review on it.
Okay, why?
And I think that's an interesting tangent to talk about real quick. Like if you have a great album or a great movie you saw. Movies are definitely the same. I feel like it's dangerous to read reviews before movies and also before like albums and stuff. It's just like experience it and then take it with what how it makes you feel, and that's it. That's all you really do need. What is the benefit of like hearing other people's take on it? Unless you want to like commiserate if you're mad about something, or if you want to like share the love, like we all love this thing. That's kind of cool. But sometimes I just like. And also, when we grew up, you and I, like there wasn't a lot of reviews, maybe in a magazine or something. So it's like you just live with it. Like that's the piece of art. I liked it, and that's it. So that's what I'm doing with this game. I think it's perfection, and it can't be like better, and I'll go into why.
All right.
But it's a perfect piece of art that it made me feel very a lot of emotions, and I'd never ever care what anybody else thinks about it, except you, in this very moment, just because we're sharing a moment, right?
That feels like a lot of pressure, man.
Well, I'm sorry, but you're the only review I'm going to watch or listen to, so no pressure. But so yeah, it's a story-based game. It's really just like, it's not even like Life is Strange, where it takes a long time to walk around a village and stuff. This is an experience, like it's just something that you go through, and you can control parts of it. But when you control parts of the characters, you are just basically helping tell the story.
Yeah.
And so some people, they won't like that or whatever. But the story they tell, in my opinion, is just so like compelling and interesting, and also like hits all the memories of my own life that I want to do those movements. I want to do those really cool, hit the trigger to do this thing.
Yeah. So tell us more about what it's about, because we got interactive experience, but I'm sure a lot of people are still like, but what do you do exactly, or what is it like?
So it's about some friends who are basically, one girl's going to go away to New York, which again, a lot of this if you can relate to, it makes it hit harder because basically, it's kids after school, after high school, and what are they going to do with their life? And one girl decides that she's going to go to New York, which is something I similarly did. And, it's how you take apart the friendship because of that, right? And they're kind of her friends are feeling that. But then each friend has their own vibe. And I want to get all the names right because I don't want to mess this up. So I'm looking at the...
Rockford is the main girl, right? That's her last name.
Oh, yeah, but we need to get like everything right. And I could have brought this up before, but
Rockford
I did not.
Is the main one. Slater.
Rockford, Slater, and Cass.
Yes.
And so, yeah, basically, I just love the vibe of each one of them. And they have their own kind of like, little things they do. And in general, you're playing kind of them hanging around their town, getting into trouble. But the whole game is told through this mixtape that she's made.
Yeah.
And so she's made this thing to kind of like, historically tell the tale of their time after school and what's going to happen that day. And they only have a couple of days left, I think, to spend together.
Yeah.
And so the songs will play in the background. So you have, literally they got the rights to a ton of songs. And so a song will play and it's playing in the background in her headphones or something. And it's, you're doing the story or you're walking around kind of picking things up.
Yeah.
And in the game itself, you're like picking up objects that kind of tell like past stories. And that's like part of the mechanics as well, right? You're just like looking at things and you'll get a little story, you'll get vibes. But what can't be understated is their understanding of humor that's like beautiful to me, where we were just talking about earlier with the other game. Humor is hard to do in games, but this kind of humor, I laughed out loud so many times just because it was either something me and my friends had said, or I got what they were talking about, or it was so esoteric and odd of a statement that it made me like laugh because of its uniqueness.
Any examples that people might be able to connect with?
Yeah, I know, man.
I know it's hard to give an example, but
I started saving like files. Like I'd saved like on PlayStation. I was like, save that, so I'd remember because all of it just was a blur. It just all happened so quickly. And I kind of don't want to say. I just rather you experience it anyhow.
Okay, that's fair.
Because it being a surprise was what made me laugh. Yeah. I was like, what the? So that's a little bit of the startup. And I'll say that the songs really go a long way. One of the things we talked about a long time ago was so many teaser trailers for games will put a song in it, and then that song's never in the game.
Right.
And songs are vibes, songs are emotions, and this whole game is songs.
Yeah.
Like every single thing you do has a song and has a meaning. Here's one miniature example that really stood out is... and again, if you think there's more to the gameplay, that's it. I'm telling you the gameplay. They'll do fun, clever things with what you're controlling. Like you make a slushie in one of the things, and it's a mini game, which is so cool. But like one of them, and what they do really well, in my opinion, is they capture those moments of feeling, being a young person, not knowing what you would do with your life, feeling angst and feeling frustration there's like a mean, fatherly figure who's a cop. And after an exchange that's emotional, which I've had, which a lot of us have had at home, being mad about something, they take off and they're like pissed off, and your control is like flipping people off.
Yeah.
And you're just giving things a finger, but then you're also blowing up cars. And I will spoil that one because that's the kind of vibe that a lot of these missions have, where like it's cathartic.
Yeah,
and I
it's
think
the
that's
feeling. It's the emotion.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. And that's why this review for me will be like, you can say anything you want about the gameplay and that it's not for you, and there's reasons why you think you don't like it. But for me, it hit all the moments of that cathartic energy, which is like, I'm over here also like in a unique time period of my life and midlife crisis and all that stuff, reminiscing, So it just hit all the moments, and I'm like, yes, I'm looking back at my life too, and I remember that moment. I remember that feeling, and if I could have blown up a car at that time, that would have been great. I would have done that. Not in real life, the vibe of it. And then like in other times, they're floating and magic happens because it's the vibe of what that feels like to be in that moment. So I'll let you go for a minute, and I'll give my final thoughts at the end. But in general, it was and this is why it's like more than a review to me. It was just tapping into me.
Yeah.
It tapped into me, motherfucker. And I go, yep, I remember all these things. We all had this moments. It was funny and it was emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. A quick question before I say anything else. In your opinion, what era or what year is this game supposed to be taking place in?
I know, and that's a good tangent real quickly. So it's supposed to be 90s, I believe, because there's the CDs, and it could be 80s. But I think what's great about it is like interchangeable because it doesn't, the songs are all over the place.
Yeah.
The Smashing Pumpkins song is actually more of a 90s Pumpkins anyhow. It's not the 80s stuff or like early 90s, which is like Gish and stuff. So, and it's got Devo, which is 80s, and it's got The Cure, but then it's got like just weird, obscure music.
Yeah, yeah.
So that answers your question, but also the tangent is I remember making mixtapes.
Sure.
It's another memory, and a lot of young people maybe don't make mixes right now, and maybe they do. But what's interesting about the soundtrack is it's not just one era, because I remember making mixes for my friends, and it had like, Tom Waits on it, or like some 70s rock, and then it had, The Cure and New Order. Yeah. So they really got it right there too, because it's not just like one vibe of a song, a style.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was speaking first of the soundtrack. I was surprised at like the diversity of the songs. I was kind of expecting it would just be kind of like hit after hit, and that would have been fine. Yeah. But there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of artists that I've never heard of before, and a lot of songs I had never heard before. In addition to, the Touch from Transformers and the Devo song, and there's been a couple. There's a couple of songs where I'm like, oh yeah, we all know these songs. But there was a lot that I was like, wow, I don't even know what this song is and where this is from and all that. And I was and apparently the developer is from Australia, I believe. So maybe there's something regional to that as well. Maybe there was something that was really big in Australia in the 90s that wasn't big here. And so maybe there's some, I don't know, continental crossover or something like that. But the soundtrack definitely is well considered and well chosen. So that's cool. I think you're right though, in that this game is, and this is not to have the, it's a game, it's not a game fucking discussion. It just is a game, period. But I think to narrow that down a little bit, I think it is more of like an interactive experience or like a interactive vibes kind of conveyor or something where like they want you to feel something and they want you to be in the moment. And I think it's really effective at doing that. In the beginning, when you start off the game and you're like skateboarding down a hill. I mean, I've done that. I'm sure you've done that. I think a lot of kids from our era or since have probably done that. And when they were like going down the road and somebody says car, and then because a car is coming up.
Yes, I totally said that.
I mean, I've done that. I'm sure you've done that, Carlos.
Yes, I've done that.
Yeah, that was a thing so I was like, okay, cool. I get where you're doing. And later on there's a scene when you're like in a field, and like, not to spoil anything, but it kind of like, it's almost like you're flying a little bit, and it's not meant to be literal. I mean, I don't think this is like a magical realism thing. I think it's more about the emotional connection of what it felt like in that moment. Like if you have lived a life and you look back on those moments, like you don't remember exactly what went down, but you remember how you felt that day, or you remember like, oh, that was like one of the best days of my life because of this thing that happened, or it was like really sunny and we were like in this field, or we found this thing in the woods or whatever. So I think that's kind of what it's tapping into, and I think it's really effective at doing that. So that said, I definitely don't think I liked it as much as you, and it didn't connect with me as much as it connected with you. To be honest, I feel like it kind of lost me about like 3/4 through. I just started just not being very interested in it anymore. I think the kids themselves, I think, didn't really have enough to say for me. They kept talking about wanting to get booze and drunk and go to a party, and after a while I was like, okay, I really want like more than that. And they do touch on it. They touch on parental issues and independence issues and stuff, but like a lot of it kind of became one note after a while, and I'm like, I'm not really super vibing on it. And I feel like this game, even though, what is it, like 5 hours long or something like that, 5-6 hours?
Yeah, you can go a little longer. I did a lot of stuff, and I did it in about 5. Yeah,
I got about 3/4 of the way through, because you can see how many chapters there are. So I got about 3/4, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to keep going. I don't want to play anymore. I feel like I'm good. And I just kind of noped out. Like, I just wasn't connecting with it. So I think it's cool. And I feel like it would have been a really, really super powerful, like 90-minute animated film, or like even at 2 hours, I was still kind of feeling it pretty strong. But by the time we got to hour 3, I'm like, okay, like I get it. I need this to go somewhere. I think I got to the part where you are, pretending to be a dinosaur. I'll just say that part. And I'm like, okay, like I'm good. Like we've done a couple iterations on this theme right now, and I need it to move forward a little bit more. So I think it's cool and sweet, and I see a lot of people like absolutely loving it, and I get why they love it. And I don't think there's even anything wrong with it. I think it's just like, I just wasn't vibing with it. It just wasn't really connecting that much with me.
Interesting. Well, I guess this is the only review I'm ever listen to, so I'll hear those criticisms, and I'll never hear other ones after this. But
it's not even a criticism. It's just like I said, there's nothing even wrong with it. I think it's just like, I just was like, just personally, it was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I get it. I don't need to see anymore. I'm not, I don't know. I just feel so limited with my free time that if a game is not like absolutely popping, I like, how quickly I bounce on stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, so that's why it's like the exact opposite for me, because I actually paused it because I didn't want it to be over. Also, I would just disagree and say it would not make a good movie, because the whole idea of this game is to experience it with them. Like, hitting the buttons is emotional, or can be for the right person. Yeah. And so watching it, I would actually have like much less connection to, because I wasn't controlling that moment. And there's like so many good moments like that. But I would also say, me and all of us at that age, there wasn't more complexity. So this is why I can speak to people might review and say it needs more, they needed more like to be flushed out or something. Sorry, but fuck that, because I was not flushed out. I wasn't flushed out for shit. I was like them, where I was like trying to figure out how to get booze, and that was a fucking really big deal. Like, I'm sorry, it just really was. And also at that time in the 90s, there wasn't social media, by the way. Great that it's not in this fucking game. And you did go out to the fields, and you did go out to the weird house in the woods.
Oh yeah, did all that.
And so we're doing that stuff. So like, booze was a big deal. Like, that was one thing we were thinking about. Or maybe weed, because it was really hard to get. But that's why I don't think there's nothing to flush out, really. It's like, that's fucking life. That was life in that time period, and there wasn't anything else. And making a big decision, like I did as well, of moving, that's a big fucking deal. Like, that's a big deal. Sure. There's a couple moments with Van, the guy, who just made me laugh a lot too. So I was just all in. Everything is, books, movies, games are going to hit people, and they're not going to hit other people, in that way. But for me, it was emotional, cathartic, memory lane. And I wrote down this after I finished. I said, it transcends the media upon which it sits. That's how epic it feels to me.
I don't even disagree, dude. I don't even disagree. I think it was just like, I had gotten the gist of it. Like, I mean, that's kind of why I said like it would be a great movie, like a 90-minute movie, 2-hour movie about kids growing up and wanting to get booze. I mean, there's a million indie movies that are like that, and I feel like that's a pretty good time period. But just like, I hit hour 3 and I was just done. So, but I have had the same experiences in the woods, finding stuff, going out on the train tracks, skateboarding, throwing rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done all that stuff, and I really commend them on really nailing a lot of that. I feel like a lot of that was really accurate and true for sure. But I don't know. It just didn't land with me for some reason.
In closing, I'll say that the very ending, which I'm not spoiling any of this because I think everybody should play this. But also, if you do play it, I don't want you to know anything because I didn't either. But the very ending has you do something with a controller that is about emotion. And I was like, there's a lot of times during this game, and my other friend understands this. I don't know if you will, but a lot of times during this game, I was like, fuck you guys. And what I meant is, do you know what I mean by that?
Maybe. Tell me a little bit more.
When I play a game that's really good, I'll be like, oh, fuck you. And it's like, fuck you, this is too good. Mm-hmm. Also, it's like, fuck you, I wish I made this. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like that. I say that a lot. So I said that a lot during this game. And then I said at the end because I was fucking crying. A fucking tear was out of my eye. And I was like, what's happening? I don't do that. I really don't cry much. And and I want to more. But like I was like, it just fucking came out.
Yeah.
And because they make you do a movement, which you didn't get to, with the controller. And the thing you're doing with the controller is about the emotion. And I was like, holy, and again, fuck you. Like, you're making me feel this thing. And then the really good song at the end. So, yeah, this is a 20 out of 10 for me. Like, there's no, it's hard to put a number on it. I would never put a number on it. And I think I'll just finally say that it transcends the media upon which it sits.
That's pretty much
really
the highest praise you can give to something. I don't know they can get any higher than that.
Yeah, it might be, of all the games we've talked about on the show, it's definitely one of my, I've said one of my favorites before, but it might be my favorite experience.
Out of all video games?
Yeah, okay. It's one of my favorite narrative experiences.
Okay,
and maybe my favorite. Like it speaks to me in such a deep level. Like I can never get what I got from that, like from a Skyrim, or something else that's my favorite game ever.
Yeah,
they just are games to me, and they're fun places to be in. But this is something that's like beyond that. So it's
highest possible praise. A lot of people are feeling that way. I know a lot of people are really blown away by this one, and I can see why. I can totally see why. So.
That's and we won't ever speak of reviews because I already started like seeing a little things go out there, and I hear like controversy and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to look at any of it.
No problem. So, quick question for you before we move on, and this is the last game of the show, by the way. So, if we decide to run this on Metacritic, are you fine with this being like a 10 out of 10? You said 20 out of 10.
I'd want to change the score. I'd want to. They only go up to 10.
They only go up to 10. That's all you can do. 100 or 100 out of 100. You can do that.
I'd say 100 out of 100.
All right. You got it. That's what I figured. Yeah. That's what I figured. All right.
After all that ranting, if you want to try to piece that together as a review, I'd want it to be a 20 out of 10.
I mean, I think that's the best. It should be a 20 out of 10. There's your box quote right there.
So. Yeah, it should be a 20 out of 10.
All right, folks. There we go. Game portion of the show is now officially done, but every week, Carlos and I do spend a few minutes in front of screens that don't have menus or life bars. Not even life bars, folks. That's right. It's time for the TV and movie roundup. Let me go first here, Carlos. Let me go first. Quick mention of Star Trek Discovery. I know I mentioned it last week or the week before. We had just started watching it. We are now in season 3. And I got to say, the show's gotten way better. Season 1 was pretty rough, bro. Like, it was hard watching, and I was determined to see where it was going to go, but I can't say that I enjoyed very many episodes of season 1. The writing was kind of soft. The characterization was really thin. Everybody was dour and sad and dark. And the creators made a lot of fucking weird choices that made me think they have never seen an episode of Star Trek in their life. But they course corrected, man. They really did. Season 2 got way better. And season 3 is like a departure from that. But they walked back a lot of the weird choices, or they retconned some of their weird choices, or they just straight up ignored some of the weird choices. I'm not going to go into a bunch of spoilers or anything, but like stuff that a lot of people who know Star Trek were like, what the fuck is this? They have walked back on some of that stuff, which I think is the right choice. And I got to say, it's just gotten a lot better. Writing's gotten a lot better. Action. They've got some true, like, Star Wars cinematic level shit going on in that show. Like, there is some space battles that are pretty cool and some special effects that are pretty cool. So I think, like, it really upped the bombast factor, and it's really gotten into a groove. So we are actually, like, legitimately enjoying it at this part. Whereas season 1 was kind of like, let's just get through this and hope it gets better. And now we're like, okay, actually, this is pretty cool. We're looking forward to watching more of it. So season 3 is where we're at. Mm-hmm. Did you watch all 5 seasons?
Mm-mm.
No. How far did you get?
A mouthful of water. Sorry.
I was going to say, are you eating a cookie or what are you doing? Okay.
I got to season when they met up with the Strange New Worlds people.
Captain Pike. So that's like the beginning of season 2. That was a good season. They got a lot of good. In fact, I will say honestly, the story arc. Did you finish season 2 or no?
I didn't, but I got maybe halfway through, and I kind of liked it.
I gotta say, I thought it was going to be cheesy when they started, but when it got to the end, it was actually pretty dope. They pulled out some story twists that I wasn't quite expecting, and they did a pretty neat thing with the writing. I was pretty impressed by the end of season 2. I was like, okay, cool. Like, you guys really did some shit there. That was good. That was good stuff, and I liked it a lot. So season 2 is really strong. Season 3 is good too. Okay, the other thing I'm going to mention real quick. Just watched a movie last night with the wife called They Will Kill You. Have you seen this, Carlos?
That's hilarious.
Did you just watch it?
That's the movie I was going to talk about.
Are you serious, dude?
Yes. We did not plan that.
We did not plan this at all.
Wow,
okay.
How cool. So, by the way, full disclosure, I don't know why I'm saying that, but I watched 3/4 of it, and then I paused it, and I was going to finish it tonight.
Of They Will Kill You?
Yeah, because I do that with movies sometimes with ADHD kind of vibes.
Gotcha.
I was having a good time. It's just like I literally had to do something else.
No worries.
And so I just paused it. So you can tell me if you like the full thing.
Okay, let me chip in, and then you can kind of...
Yeah, you explain what it is, but that's
So
fine.
Basically, this is an action movie Is it Zazie Beetz or Zazie Beetz?
I believe, yeah.
Zazie Beetz?
And Heather Graham out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, Heather Graham, yes. And it has that guy who played Malfoy from Harry Potter... And there's a couple of actors that you might recognize in this film.
Yeah,
but basically,
Zazzie's awesome. I love her.
Yeah, she's like the fucking best. Like,
yes.
Absolutely the best, dude. So she plays a woman who lost her sister and then 10 years later gets out of prison. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into details. She goes to prison, comes back to find her sister, and her sister is working in this creepy-ass hotel in, I guess, New York or whatever. And so she goes to find her sister, and it turns out this whole hotel is like basically like a temple to Satan, basically. Like everybody who lives in this hotel is like a Satanist, and there's weird cult shit going on. And then you think it might be a horror movie, but it kind of is, but also it is a supernatural movie, and it also is just like way over the top, like action, like bloodshed.
Way over the top.
Super over the top bloodshed. And so the wife and I watched, this was the wife's pick actually, and that's one of the reasons why I love my wife. But it was good. I mean, it was like you got to be ready for like way over the top, kind of gory, like almost comical levels of violence. And if you're in the mood for that, this movie like really delivers. They do some great action. Zazzie's fucking awesome in this. I think everybody does a good job in the supporting roles. And I will say one thing that really put this movie over the top for me. It wasn't perfect. I mean, there was a few moments where I felt like the director was maybe a little bit too cheesy, or maybe I didn't like the soundtrack in this particular moment or something. It wasn't a perfect film. But I think the heart was in the right place, and I think the action was in the right place, and Zazie can carry a whole film by herself. But I think what really put it over the top for me, and no spoilers, was that they did not ignore the supernatural element of it. I'm not going to say any more than that because you haven't finished the movie.
You don't want to spoil. Yeah.
But I will say that they did take that into consideration, and I feel like they did an excellent job with it. And I'm not going to say any more because I think that watching this movie is the reveals are a good part of the movie. So I'll say it's definitely a thumbs up if you're in the mood for some like balls to the wall, fucking blood spurting, ridiculous. Oh my God, I can't believe they killed that guy like that. Popcorn action. That's what this movie is, and I feel like it delivered. Carlos, your thoughts?
Agree, and I'll just do this for anybody listening. Just think Sam Raimi, Evil Dead.
Yeah, that level of goofy gore.
It's goofy. It's like there's like literally. I remember that Beetlejuice head moment, which I won't kind of spoiler, but like they're going there, right? They go to places that are weird, and they jump cut and push in like Sam Raimi does. Yep. In Evil Dead. I mean, they do a lot of Evil Dead homage.
A lot of creative camera shots for sure. Shots.
It's just, and here's the fun twist: the very beginning is a massive twist that we won't spoil.
Yeah.
And it literally sets the whole tone for the movie because I was like, I thought it was a different movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a totally different movie.
Yeah.
And it turns into, it's like, no, it's way over the top. And now I hope you're liking that you're there in this new space because it's going to get zanier. And like I said, I finished 3/4 of it and I've seen some crazy shit.
It gets crazier, dude. And like it goes places at the end. And I really, really like where it went. I give him props because it would have been very easy to not do that. But they did, and I'm really glad that they did. A lot of shit where you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. And
I love
wouldn't it be funny if, oh shit, they just did that thing. Okay, like, that's the kind of movie it is. So I dug it a lot. I thought it was really fun.
Also Patricia Arquette, which I love. And
she's great.
She has she's I've always loved her in like David Lynch's stuff. Mm-hmm. So like Mulholland Drive and stuff. Not Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway. And so, like, she fits perfectly in this world. And Heather Graham does, too, weirdly enough.
Yeah, she's perfect for this. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's a comedy. Really, it's a comedy.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of
feels
comedy.
Powerful and fun and good action. So, yeah, surprised. I'd seen the trailer a long time ago and going like, oh, the trailer was it got me in.
Same.
And, yeah, with Tarantino, too. Tarantino definitely
vibes with that. So I liked it a lot.
That's
I thought
funny.
It was fun.
We both watched it. Okay, check it out.
Check it out. And you have anything else or just one?
I just said I finished up Vice Principals, and it's perfect. It's a perfect series.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
I can't wait for you guys to watch it. It's 2 seasons of perfection. It's like every night I would watch one episode, and it's just so fun. And Widow's Bay that I told you about last time.
We talked about it, but you know me, I'm waiting for more episodes to drop before we get into it. But it's high up on our list.
There's 3 episodes now. I don't think that's enough for you.
We got to get to like 8 episodes, 9 episodes. Because, dude, fuck waiting weekly. Fuck that shit. That is the most bogus stuff, dude, ever.
It isn't bogus. You have many other shows you can watch while you're waiting.
And
also, that guy from, he's in a million things like Barry and stuff. And,
oh, yeah, I know you're talking about. The guy who played Barry's mentor, his handler or whatever. Yeah.
And he's been in a million things. But, like, he's in this Stephen Root. And he's such a grounding piece to this thing. Mm-hmm. It's like if he wasn't there, he's so good. Yeah. But like this whole world is just one more shout out for this because it is like a creature, like almost comedy about an island that's haunted, but it's not haunted by just one thing, and that's the coolest thing, which reminds me of Cabin in the Woods. This is a island that has many problems. And minor spoiler, episode 3 is about, like, I won't even spoil it, but there's something that, like, in the sea, you know?
In the
like,
sea.
That's a mystery, like, myth or something, right? But that's in episode 3, but that's not the only thing on this island. It's like each time there's something else is here. So I guess it's kind of like Monster of the Week, but it's like the whole place has got a problem.
Yeah.
And the mayor keeps going like, no, everything's fine. And that's the comedy. So
I'm very excited for it. It looks so great. I definitely want to get into it. Quick tangent.
Yes.
As we were talking about this show, I don't know that we've ever talked about. Did we talk about Happy before? Did you see Happy, the TV show?
Happy, the TV show. I don't think so.
Okay, so
Hold
Happy.
On, let me look it up.
Go look it up real quick.
The little creature, and I bounced because I couldn't handle the creature.
Oh, dude, that fucking show. Like, it's darker and crazier than what you're describing, but something about what you just said made me think of Happy.
Okay.
And the wife and I watched Happy, and Happy is one of the most fucking unbelievable face-melting TV shows I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, nothing is like Happy at all. And I know, so basically it's a premise. There's this detective who is like drunk, and he's got a bunch of personal problems. He starts imagining a cartoon. It's like, that's a unicorn, I think it is.
Yeah.
A cartoon unicorn. It looks like a My Little Pony, and it nobody else can see it or hear it but him. But it talks to him. And then as they go on, this series gets like super psychedelic. He tries to solve a kidnapping, and then it turns into like things getting darker and darker and darker. And actually it has a lot of relevance to what was going on, like with Epstein Island and a lot of like the political stuff going on. But like it gets so fucking insane. And I have literally in my life never seen a show that even remotely approaches the places where Happy goes to. Like, and I've seen a lot of fucking TV and I've seen a lot of shit. This one is like number one, the most bananas thing ever. It's so bananas, I just knocked shit off my desk. So anyway, if you're in the mood for something like that, that is a show unlike any other. And it's heavy and it's dark, but I think it ended up being pretty incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll check it out again.
When you are mentally strong enough to handle it. It's a lot. So anyway, all right, that is it, folks. That's a show. Before the closing music, we'd love for you to leave reviews, share it on social media. Most important of all, please recommend it to your friends because nothing beats good old word of mouth. And as always, we want your questions and comments. Hit me up directly, SylvaDaGamesPodcast@gmail.com, on social media, on Instagram and Blue Sky. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. Carlos, where can people find you?
Glitch to the Ground on YouTube. Doing a lot of videos over there. Check it out.
Awesome. You can also get both of us in the So Videogames Discord, which is totally free of charge. Drop me a line. I'll hook you up. And finally, if you like this episode, you want to hear more, you can help support this show and sister site, GameCritics.com, by going over to patreon.com/the So Videogames Podcast. Every single dollar helps, and €1 helps that much more. Folks, that's going to do it for episode 487. Thank you again for joining us here on the So Videogames Podcast, and I'll see you next week.
And I'll see you some other podcast.